Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a member of the Uncommon Folk from the very beginning or recently joined. I really appreciate all the love and all the support all you have given me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, especially when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Your continuous support is truly appreciated. Also, want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch from the clouds, including the haters, who are actually secret fans. Okay. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Now, recently, there is another YouTube creator called Visions of Asia. She is a young YouTube creator who has, I think, over 10,000 subs. But she's been producing content regarding the issue that you have people who are morbidly obese and proud about it and consider themselves to be sexy and that they should be allowed to be as obese as possible without facing any judgment or flashback from anyone. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion as someone who is morbidly obese myself. Um, I've been dealing with this issue with the battle of the budge all my life. Okay. I have been morbidly overweight most of my life. The difference is, unlike these individuals, I'm trying to address the issue of my morbid obesity. Okay. I am not glamorizing the fact that I'm morbidly obese. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no problem with people who have a healthy self esteem. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. My issue comes with the fact when people who weigh 3, 4, or 500 pounds, they don't think anything about it and they treat it as some sort of a flex. Okay. The problem is when you are that overweight, you are creating a great deal of pressure with your heart to pump blood. Also, you create great deal of pressure regarding your joints, particularly your knees, because they have to support all that weight. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, when you are morbidly obese, it creates many problems. Among them, diabetes, heart condition, heart problems, and things of that nature. Not to mention the fact there is the issue of trying to find appropriate clothing. Okay. And I see here we have Irby in the chat. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. Um, this is my thing, and I want people to understand this. Um, I don't have a problem with thinking highly of yourself. I do have a problem when it comes to the delusion. Okay, and in fact, I'm going to be doing a stream regarding this situation next week. I think Visions does have an email. I think I'll try to reach out to her and see if she can come on my platform and lend her voice regarding this issue. Now, one thing it's one thing when you're morbidly obese, okay, but you realize that it is an issue, and you decide to deal with it, whether it be with a change of lifestyle, exercise, if necessary, uh, go through a procedure to reduce the size of your stomach. It's another thing when you choose to treat it as a flex, and then you know you're glamorizing a health crisis. Okay, let's see here. Well, look, this is my thing, and I think we need to have a dose of reality. Okay, and the reality is this: when you are morbidly obese, that is at least 100 pounds over what you should weigh, it is a major health issue. Okay, and it does affect the quality of your life in also many ways. It affects you physically, it affects you mentally, it also can affect you spiritually. Okay, and of course, let's keep it real. It did not happen um, overnight. It was a lengthy process. And the fact of the matter is, it took a lot of time to gain the weight. It's going to take the same amount of time to lose the weight. Lose it and then maintain it. Okay. I mean, in my case, I at one time weighed 382 pounds before I had a gastric bypass. Okay. And I got down to 238 before I started gaining the weight back again. Now I'm at 250. Okay. But I am going to continue to lose the weight. Okay. Not because I want to look handsome, not because I want to look skinny or whatever. It's just that I want to improve the quality of my health and my life. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, at 61 years old, I'm going to be dealing with my multiple health issues. I don't need to add morbid obesity to the mix. So I will be discussing this topic next week. Okay. Hopefully, Visions of Asia can pop in, and then uh, we can have a discussion. Okay. And as a person that's dealt with obesity, being morbidly obese is not a flex. It is an issue. And Another issue, it has to do with self-esteem. To allow yourself to get to that way where you're weighing when you're 3 or 400 pounds. Okay, look, I'm like I said, I'm morbidly obese and I weigh 250 pounds. So I can't even imagine someone weighing 3, 4, or 500 pounds. And then you have some of these delusional women and delusional men think it's a flex and thinks it's sexy to have all that extra poundage and to have all that cellulite. I'm sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but that is not the case. What you're doing is you are slowly harming yourself physically, you're slowly harming yourself mentally and spiritually. Okay. And as Christians, we have to remember that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, meaning we have to make sure that we take proper care of our bodies. Okay. You cannot do that if you weigh 400 pounds and you're eating um, the amount of food which would take a whole family to eat and you're eating it by yourself. Um, Again, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not an attempt to fat shame anyone, but this is meant to be a reality check. Okay. And in my case, I've seen several members of my family die prematurely because they did not take proper care of themselves. Okay. So therefore, I'm going to do everything I can to live as healthy life as I have for the amount of time that God has given me. Okay. Until that time comes where God will call me home. And God will call me home eventually. When? I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be a good 10 or 20 years or whatever time that I'm able to live. But I want to spend the remaining years of my life uh, as healthy as possible, knowing that as I get older, I will have multiple issues. That's just the reality. Um, Whether it be my vision will go bad, whether it be my joints will become more athletic, whether it be whatever medical conditions I will develop. I intend to try to live as healthy a life as I can, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay. So I will let you know when I'm going to delve into the subject. I think I'll try to reach out to Visions of Asia tomorrow. And then I'm sure we will benefit with such. And look, and again, this is not meant to be an attack at anyone that's overweight. I'm dealing with the problem. I have been dealing with the problem all my life, and now I'm actually doing something about it. Okay, so and maybe we do need to bring a little bit of shame into our reality because we have certain people who are being too delusional. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, the main topic for tonight: are you an Android, an Apple, or an Android person? Okay. Now, we all know people that have like an Apple or like the iPhone 14, 15, or whatever the fluff it is now. And then you have people like myself They use Android phones like they got the S23, the S20, the S. I don't know. Now, to be perfectly honest, the first smartphone I used was actually a BlackBerry. Okay, at one time, Blackberries were like the in smartphone because basically you can do a lot of things on it. Okay, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Blackberries had stopped producing smartphones. Why? I don't know. That's something I might consider discussing at another stream. Okay. So after I had my um, BlackBerry, I actually did get an iPhone. I actually have an iPhone 3. Now, basically, the iPhone itself, from what I understand, was developed in the year 2007. So basically, what they did was they combined an iPad with a cell phone, and that created an iPhone. So Apple were among the first ones of these companies that produce what's known as a smartphone. Um, Basically, these phones are like little computers. Okay, and particularly nowadays when you have these phones um, that have that have a great deal of memory. Of course, I'm not talking about those who have the Obama phones and what have you, but these phones, I mean, they are able to hold a great deal of data. They're able to um, take excellent images. I mean, and and the fact of the matter is, we have become very dependent on our smartphones. Okay, we depend on our phones for so many things. Okay, we use our smartphones for shopping. We use them to pay our bills. We use them um, to purchase plane tickets and things of that nature. We also use these phones as far as okay, all right, okay, fair enough. So I mean, we become we very dependent on these little devices. Okay, and one thing we have to be mindful of, uh, as technologically advanced they are very fragile. Okay, I mean, look, I mean, and I've seen some smartphones. It looked like someone tap danced on it. I mean, with all the cracks on it. I mean, with my with my device, I always get a protected case, and of course, I always spend a lot of money on these things. Why? Because I don't want to have to get a crack phone, the phone be cracked, and then I have to get it repaired, and then I'd be away. I mean, away with my smartphone. Okay, and actually, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I am deeply dependent on my smartphones. Okay, because I don't have a landline. Okay, I actually have smartphones. Okay, now the question is, why do I have more than one? Well, because I need more than one. I have one that I do use for everyday use, and I have like a backup in case, God forbid, something happens. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just give me a moment. Okay. Oops. Now before I forget, let me just let everybody know that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Sure, anyone wishes to join the panel and add their input to the conversation, they can do so. Let me make this perfectly clear as always. If you've never been on this platform and I have no prior knowledge about you, I will insist that you come up in the backstage for the simple reason I don't want some idiot coming on this platform flashing genitalia, which would cause the good people of YouTube to take down this stream. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to do what I can to protect the integrity. Now, lately, thank goodness, the trolls have not made their presence felt here. Well, once they do decide to make their presence felt, I will again enable the subscriber mode, which means that you will have to be a subscriber to enter your comments in the chat. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Okay, it's taking a while for the image to load up. Unfortunately, it does happen sometime. Okay. So I came across this article from Forbes magazine, okay, and it talks about the the iPhone, namely Apple. So I'm just gonna share the article. I'm not gonna read it in its entirety. I'm just gonna read the important parts. Apple has always positioned themselves as an aspirational brand. The emphasis on unmatched quality levels, clean user experience, and a distinct and constant design at its core is of what makes it the most valuable company in the world. When they entered the smartphone market in 2007, the iPhone, priced then at a hefty $499, became the obvious choice of people who could afford it. But crucially, it became a device other phone manufacturers which they could build, which elevated the iPhone to a halo status in the eyes of the average consumer. Although iPhones are more enhanced today than ever before, they still haven't shed the status symbol image the little born way into the dating scene. It's not just about the device itself, but what it represents a certain lifestyle, taste, and even financial status. This perception, whether conscious or subconscious, can influence how we view potential partners. Here's a closer look at the phenomenon. Are you letting your date iPhone do the talking for you? Excuse me, being serious with someone who isn't an iPhone user, you can't message them, nor can you FaceTime with them. But these trivial things, and as Apple itself will say, there's an app for that. Okay. I'm just going to may have something to do with the psychological concept of the halo effect. This is a cognitive phenomenon where our impressions of a person in one area or influences our opinion of that person or other area. In the concept of iPhones and dating, if someone perceives an iPhone user as successful or trendy, to the brand status symbol image, they might also perceive them as more attractive. Um, across 45 countries and 11 world regions, attractive men and women were rated confident, emotionally stable, intelligent, responsible, socially and trustworthy, all based on Okay, I apologize. I didn't know I was accidentally removed from the screen. But basically, what the article was sharing is that people seem to think, um, either subconsciously or subconsciously, if you have an iPhone, that makes you something special. Okay. Now, this is coming from a device that we use to communicate. This is coming from the device that we use to send emails or things of that nature. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cam up for a moment. Okay. So this is one of my phones. Okay. Um, as you can see, okay, you may not be able to see, but this is a Android phone. Okay. I have the S23. Okay. Now, in the beginning, okay, like I said before, in the beginning, my first, excuse me, so-called smartphone was a BlackBerry. Okay, the BlackBerry was like the in device at that time. Okay, eventually, the smartphones would would be dominated by uh, Samsung and Apple. Okay, so now I'm just gonna okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna share another article. Just give me a moment. Okay. So let me ask the audience um, this question. Okay. If you have um, if you have an iPhone, put a one in the chat. If you have an Android, put a two. Now I know Irby, okay, you already indicated that you have an Android phone. Now what I'm gonna do is just give me a moment. I'm gonna share my screen again, and again a huge shout out to the people watching as we speak. And hopefully I won't get accidentally removed from the screen. Okay. Now what you see here is the number of people who have iPhones in the United States. So here, okay. So um, the first year that we have actually have statistical data, um, 44.5 million Americans had at least one iPhone. Okay. Then it increased to, and the following year, to 57.8 million. The following year, 2014, the number of Americans that had smart iPhones went up to 72.3 million. The following year, it went up to 82.5 million. In 2016, it went up to slightly over 90 million Americans that had the iPhone. The following year, 2017, they went up to 97.2 million Americans with the iPhone. Now in 2018, uh, that went up slightly to 101.9 million. So that was the first year where uh, iPhone users reached the 100 million mark. In 2019, that went up to 106.2 million Americans with iPhones. And as of last year, um, the number of Americans that have an iPhone is 136 million. So as you can see, from 2012 to 2023, the amount of iPhone users went up over threefold. And now from 2012 to 2023, the number of iPhone users in the US increased by 91.4 million. This marks a 205.3% overall increase in the average annual growth rate of 11%. However, growth has been slowed in recent years. From 2013 to 2015, the annual growth rate were in double digits and averaged 23%. But from 2016 to 2023, the average growth rate decelerated to 6.5%. Okay. And then here on this bar graph shows you the market share of iPhones in the US uh, from 2014 to 2024. And again, these are the figures. And then we're going to stop sharing. So, so of course, when it comes to smartphones, we think of the two largest companies, which is Apple and Samsung. Now, why have these companies have managed to continue to thrive? Is because they continue able to adapt. BlackBerry, for reasons that are unknown, were not successful in adapting, which is why you don't see the BlackBerry out there today. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one more article. I'm probably going to keep this maybe an hour. Oh, before I forget, what I did again tonight in the description, I added the link to my other channel, which is known as Latina Diaspora. Okay. Now, the whole purpose of the channel is to talk about issues that mainly Latinos in the United States deal with. Okay. Among things that we have to deal with, part of it is an identity, part of it is conflicts regarding culture. Okay. Because even though um, our parents or grandparents come from other countries, we were born and raised here in the United States, so we have become Americanized. Okay. And some of us uh,
don't have a great deal of knowledge regarding our cultures, which is why I developed the channel. And I will be doing a stream this Saturday at 6 o'clock. I probably won't keep it long. I'm just gonna have my give you my thoughts. I'm just gonna slowly work that way to producing content. So, so what I'm gonna do is just share one more article. Just give me a moment. So this is regarding. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this article. Okay. And this is regarding androids. Just bear with me because sometimes it does take a while for the image to appear. Okay. Now, this is basically the statistical data regarding androids in 2024. And he states the following. Android is the most popularly operated system in the world with over 3 billion active users spanning over 190 countries. Created by Andy Rubin as the open source alternative to iPhone and Palm OS, Android quickly became the favorite of operating systems of most mobile manufacturers in the early 2010s. As Android, okay, with the titans of the industry such as Samsung, LG, Motorola, and HTC, all launching phones running Android, it quickly became the most popular mobile OS, hitting over 1 billion active users by 2014. As Android grew, so did Google's control over of the OS. Originally, manufacturer partners were able to customize most of the platforms to their liking. However, every year, Google has added more compulsory services and conditions which has ensured advantages for its own suite of apps. Google Play has enormously, in the past decade, excuse me, reaching $47 billion revenue in 2023. There were over 2.6 million apps available in the store in 2023, which were downloaded 113 billion times. Android is the dominant platform for most countries, although, thank you, Arabi, it is trouble surpassing Apple in Japan and in the United States. In countries like Brazil, India, and Indonesia, Iran, and Turkey, it has over 85% of the market share. While Google has claimed more control over Android with each passing year, in China, the search giant has no control over the operating system. A host of Chinese companies operate the third-party app stores on the Android platform, which accounts for 75% of all smartphone users in China. From 2021, Google has been in odds with regulators and developers over the amount of revenue it takes for subscriptions and other transactions. Code has nothing to do with it, okay? So let's not go there. It's also been accused of preventing third party payment solutions from working on the platform, with South Korea forcing Android to accept third party alternatives. Now, here are some statistical data. Android has over 3 billion active users. Three-quarters of all smartphones in the world run Android. Close to 1 billion Android smartphones were shipped last year. Samsung is the largest Android smartphone manufacturer, followed by Xiaomi and Apple. And we're gonna plug it here. Okay. Uh, Cole has nothing to do with it, Abby. Okay. So look, one thing I think when it comes to using a smartphone, I think part of it has to do with preference and which one is easier. Okay. There are people that will swear that iPhones are easier to use. Okay. And perhaps for them it is. And then there are people like me who perceive Android phones are easier. Okay. Now, I actually had both an iPhone and several Android phones, and I am definitely, um, I am an Android person. It's easier for me, and the problem is, okay, this is how I see it. Every time there's a problem with an iPhone, you got to go to the Apple Store and things of that nature, and that's not. Um, I'm not gonna lie. There have been times I thought about upgrading to um, an iPhone, but at this point, I'm perfectly fine with the phone I have. Okay. Now, of course, with some people, it's a simple. Okay, they have to have the latest iPhone. They have to have the latest Samsung phone. Um, with me, I prefer a phone that I can use, which I can learn how to use it with relatively ease. I know there are others, more advanced smartphones out there, and just for your own education and edification, I have an S23, and an S23 works fine for me. Okay. Um, and one thing I find amazing, I actually accidentally dropped my phone in the toilet, but I was able to pick it up and dry it off quickly. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend putting your smartphone in water. Okay, uh, it's just that no, because it's like these devices are like computers. Okay, they crack, they get damaged, and you really don't want to spend a lot of time, spend the money, spend the time and energy of getting your phone fixed. So now, what I will suggest the following: um, whatever phone that you have, whether you have a Samsung or an iPhone, make sure you get a good strong case. Okay, because let's keep it real. Some of us tend to drop our phones quite a bit, and if you do not have a case, you're going to cause the lens to crack, and then it's going to become a problem. Okay, and don't be cheap regarding getting a case. Okay, I would rather spend 50, $60 to get a case, a good, strong, sturdy case, which will protect my phone than not, and then get my phone crack and I have to spend maybe twice that a month getting it repaired. Okay. So what is my take when it comes to, you know, the people who uses Apple mobile devices compared to those who uses Android mobile devices? I mean, when everything is said and done, basically they're both going to do the same thing, more or less. They're going to make phone calls. They're going to film. I mean, you can do multiple things. So I think it's more of a preference, and with some people, it's more like a prestige. Now I have been talking for about 15 minutes. If anybody wishes to opine regarding the topic, by all means, they can do so. Or if anyone wishes to add any further comments, they can do so. If no one does either one, then I'll stop to wrap this up. Okay. But what I will do is I'm gonna be doing a stream on Thursday at 8:30. And actually what I'm gonna be doing is um, I'm gonna give reaction to some certain um, things that we're seeing in social media. I don't usually do reaction video streams and things of that nature, but you have to think outside the box a little bit. Now, I came across a shocking, disgusting uh, video where this girl, uh, she broke up with her ex, who happened to have children. Yeah, I think we have, to a certain extent. Okay, I mean, let me tell you something. If we don't have Wi-Fi or we don't have a signal, we're lost. Okay. So what this person did, she actually called Children's Services and filed a fake report as a form of revenge. Okay. Now I have a huge issue with that. Okay. First of all, as some of you know, I'm a municipal employee who was a mandated reporter. People who work for children's services are mandated reporters. So every day they face with issues where there might be possible abuse or neglect. So they have to devote a great deal of time and energy um, to investigate, because we're talking about our children who are vulnerable. Okay, so whenever anyone makes a false report, that means time and resources are being deprived to follow up on fake reports, while other serious case issues are neglected. And it kind of goes to what extent some of these schizoid chicks would go through. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. Not all women are like this. Okay, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There are many great women out there who are mature, who are responsible, who will make great life partners. But we have some troubled ladies out there. Okay, and the and this is my thing. Anyone that follows false accusations of child abuse, they should be arrested, because what that does, it scars the person who who was the victim of a false allegations, And then the one that really suffer because of some chicks stupidity are the children. That is the sad part. That is the sad reality. Um, like I said, I'm gonna be doing okay. I'll be doing a stream regarding this issue with the delusion of morbid obesity as a flex. Because I look as a person myself that dealt with the issue with the battle of bulge, it is not a flex. I agree. It should be a felony. It should be a felony. And actually, what the person should do is she should serve time in prison. Maybe if that was the case, maybe some of these people wouldn't do that. I mean, and look, we already know um, there have been individuals here in these YouTube streets that made false accusations of child abuse regarding certain creators here. I'm not going to mention any names here because I think we all know who all those individuals are. And really, I don't want to uh, reward any inappropriate behavior by giving them any attention. But it is unfortunate that we do have people that out of revenge, out of spite, out of jealousy, or what have you, instead of dealing with whatever issues they have, instead of dealing with whatever trauma that they have, that they will um, file a false report on child abuse. Okay, that really can do a lot of harm. Okay, and also whenever anyone files a false police report regarding possible assault, that trivializes the true victims of assault. Okay, and it just saddens me to see people that do this. Well, in any case, I'm going to start to wrap this up. I do appreciate um, those who caught it live. I also appreciate those who will catch it the playback. Okay, and of course, all of you, and I repeat, all of you are more than welcome to enter your comments. And after the stream is over, what I do ask, however, is please, please, please keep your comments respectable, because if you fail to do so, your comments will be deleted. Okay, that is a fact. Okay, so, but in any case, I do appreciate all the love and all the support all of you have given me. Okay, and it's hard to believe that um, it will still be coming to 3 years that I have been a serious YouTube creator. Okay. Never in my wildest dreams would I think I'll have this amount of support. Um, whether it be from Irby, whether it be from Multi, Gigi, um, numerous YouTube creators. So I really do appreciate it. And Irby, I really am looking forward for whenever you do decide to air content. One thing I will do is I will subscribe to your channel, and if you allow me, I will also share your content on my community tab. Okay, so with that being said, I think I will uh, wrap this up. I guess I understand that some of these topics are not necessarily all that glamorous, but these are things that we do need to discuss. You're quite welcome, Irby. I'm just waiting for you whenever you do decide. Okay? Just bear in mind that you're gonna have haters. Okay? They're gonna hate you. No, they're gonna hate us either because of your content or because of the people that you hang with. I mean, we're all used to this whole stupidity because people cannot accept the fact that we're cool with other people, and just because we're cool with other people, okay, does not mean that we're gonna take sides. Some people just need to grow up. Okay, that's the reality. But that's why I call the circus the circus. That's why I call these individuals the mentally and intellectually challenged. Yeah, well, you know what? Hopefully, no, I'm sure. Hopefully, it will get some action regarding on the playback crew and the playback crew. Okay, but it is what it is. Okay, you can't always have a stream when you have a lot of people watching, and it's a slow night. I get it. No shame. But in any case, I do appreciate all of you watching, either live or on the playback. So in any case, what I will do is, and again, please, if you have an opportunity this week, please check out both this platform, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, or Latina Diaspora. Okay, particularly if you're interested regarding the issues that mainland Latinos face, I think you'll find it educational. Okay, and one thing you're going to see is going to be the same. It's going to be the same rules apply. Everyone is welcome to opine. Just keep it respectable. That is all I ask. Well, in any case, I'm going to end this the same way I always end it. We must do everything we can to minimize the influence of the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you a good night. Take care. Be the best version of yourself and peace.